think the fundamentals of the economy look to me reasonable, in terms of the production capacity of British industry, and in terms of the competitiveness of the financial services sector, for example. I think that the challenge it has is, particularly in some of the lower skilled work and lower paid work, finding labour is challenging. And I think in terms of Britain, we're still an exporting nation, most particularly in hard goods, so currency fluctuations are unhelpful to businesses that import and produce. I guess it's difficult to say, my view would be it's difficult to say whether the Brexit process is good or bad for the economy. I would just say that uncertainty is generally bad because it stops investment, and in most sectors of the economy, including financial services, unless you invest in your infrastructure, you quickly become non-competitive. So a prolonged period of uncertainty is bad. I'd say that. And on interest rates, I think we're in a period where the government in the UK, from my perspective, personal view, would quite like to raise interest rates actually, but the equity markets are at an all-time high, and the reason they're at an all-time high is there's nowhere to put your money in the debt market because yields are depressed. Once traditional debt investors think that the interest rate curve is starting to go up again, I think they'll move their money out of equities, and I think you'll see a sharp correction in equity values, and that leads to a loss of confidence. So the government's in a difficult position, I would say, of whichever government comes in.
Yeah, and in terms of interest rates, I mean, obviously, I suppose there's an expectation that they may rise in the autumn anyway if inflation keeps on rising. I mean, what's your view on that?
Well, I think they have to rise. It depends whether you think that some inflation is good or bad for the economy. I happen to think that when you've got an economy that's got a significant amount of borrowing, as we have, inflation is quite a good thing, because everything goes up apart from your debt, in layman's terms. So that's quite good. But I think that managing inflation through rising interest rates is all very well, as long as real wages rise at or about the same level as inflation.